Alright, welcome back to Flight Sim 2020 and welcome back to our Neofly series. Today we do of course have a pretty special flight because this is episode 20 of the series, and as you can see by looking at the screen, we are in the AnyBuild's A300 freighter, and this is by far the biggest aircraft that we've operated as part of our Salt Air airline operations. And today's flight is pretty special because we're going to be starting a new operation. Our cargo is all loaded up and we're going to be flying from here, Durban King Shaka, where we ended the previous episode. We're taking our A300 with all of the cargo we need to set up a new base of operations in Maun, Botswana. So we're going to be operating a bit of a bush charter service into some of the kind of game reserves and little bush strips in the Okavango Delta area based out of Maun. So not a particularly long flight, I think it's just over 2 hours. But we're going to be taking all of our gear from here in Durban up to Maun to get that started. And then the A300 is going to continue flying cargo between our various hubs, including all the way up to Kilimanjaro, which is about probably just under 5 hours flight as well. So the A300 is going to be a big boost to our cargo operations, and we're going to be giving it its first flight. I do own this aircraft, it's not rented, so it was pretty expensive at like 77 million. Yeah, we're going to probably bring in about just over $1 million in income from this one flight. So each time we send it off between Botswana and South Africa, we're looking at over $1 million, and probably around 3 if we send it up to like Kilimanjaro and those places. So pretty exciting day for the airline. We are of course flying IFR, and that means we're going to be using Beyond ATC again for our communications. We are Cargo 103 today is our call sign, and it's a beautiful early morning here in Durban for flying. The weather looks perfect all around, a little bit of wind but nothing too serious, so I think we can jump aboard and start getting things set up. So let's start getting power to our aircraft. We'll turn on the batteries and we'll accept the external power. Right, then if we come through, we can't turn any of these on yet, but we'll turn that on. We are fueled. Actually, no, we're not. No, I have done fuel. Beacons, nav, and logo lights will set on. That's cool for now. We'll fire up the APU in just a bit. What else? I'm not going to do official procedures. I'm just going to kind of get things up and running because this isn't a tutorial for this aircraft. The idea is just to get us up to Maun. So that's cool. Go ahead and do our test quickly. That all looks good. So APU test looks good, so we can fire that up when we're ready. Let's go and dial these to nav. We can start getting that aligned. So if we come over here, there's our flight plan. So if we look at the weather for Maun, looks pretty chilled. Winds 120 at 5 knots. Variable between 80 and 150. Cav OK. Temperature 14 degrees, which is pretty low. 20 degrees down here in Durban. All good. Okay, routing, we're going up to 30,000 feet today. That all looks fine. If we go to weight and balance, fuel is set, and I have applied that. Maybe I should just do that again to make sure. Okay, that's cool. Right, let's get our Simbrief flight plan in here. So let's go to menu. Right. Durban King Sharker to Meln. Cost index. We go here. $15. Will this fill automatically? I don't think it does. We need to actually go and grab that. So let's close this and go here. Zero fuel weight CG 30.6. Put that in, and that all looks good. Right. We are departing today. I think it was runway 6. Yes, runway 6, and it is the Greytown 1 Alpha. Go ahead and insert that. We'll obviously double check this with ATC once we call up clearance. And I think we'll leave that like that for now. Let's come up here and do our calculations. Runway 6, that's correct. It's dry, that's all right. Flaps 15, cool. Okay, so flexing to 58, 61, 67, 68. Okay, the rest we need to dial in here once our IRS has a line. And we can then switch on all of these guys up here. Okay, let's go ahead and get our APU up and running so long. And I think we can call for our clearance. And we're just waiting for that to align. Okay, let's get the Addons. Addons is on 1270. So, I actually need... have a view that takes us down here. No, I don't.
Transition level 060. Advice on initial contact. You have information India.
India.
15 AK Airport information India. 0545 Zulu. Wind 045 at 4 temperature to 0. 2.18. QNH 1020. Landing and departing runway 06. Transition level 060. Advice on initial contact. You have information India.
Okay, 12265 is the ground. We have information India. And it is not that one. I do this every time. QNH 1020. Right, I think we can get everything closed up because we are done. APU should be online. Good stuff. So we can ditch that. And the chocks as well. Okay, let's ask for our clearance. We're still waiting for the APU to finish alignment. King Sharka ground, good day, cargo 103. With information, India requests IFR clearance to mount.
Cargo 103 Heavy, apron control ground. Thanks for information, India. Expect runway 06 GYVE 1 Alpha departure. Initial climb to 6,000 feet. Squawk 1216.
Okay, let's see if they get Greytown 1 Alpha, if I say it like that. Expect runway 06, Greytown 1 Alpha departure, initial climb to 6,000 feet, squawk 1216, cargo 103.
Cargo 103 Heavy, read back correct. Call me back when ready for pushback or engine start.
Call when ready, cargo 103 Heavy. Okay, so it actually got the Greytown 1 Alpha. So, we need to climb to 6,000 feet on the Greytown 1 Alpha departure, and we're squawking 1216. So we can put that in, which means I need to go back here again. At least I only have to do this once. 1216. Bang. Cool, it is on standby, and that's all good. Right, looks like our IRS is done aligning. So let's go and flip all of these on, and they should all stay on now. Good stuff. We can turn on the beacon while we are here, and all of our fuel pumps since we are done with fueling and all of that. These can stay off, but these can come on. Arm that guy, APU bleed can come on, and then we can actually get some air conditioning running. Go. Okay, then double check our speed, as I can't remember. 168 goes in here. And initial climb 6,000. Set will be a flex takeoff, and we are flexing to 58. That's set, and then I think we are good to go. Alright, double check that all looks good up here and there. I think it does. Ground cargo 103 Heavy, ready for push and start.
Cargo 103 Heavy, apron control ground, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, cargo 103 Heavy. Right, let's go ahead and get our pushback. So I think it's in ground. Okay, let's release the parking brake. I see the tug moving. And we can go ahead and go. Today is the 19th, so odd gives us starter A. And let's go and start engine 2. And pushback is started. Started very slowly. Is the parking brake on? Oops. So it was actually off, and I turned it on. I think I did that in the last episode as well with a different aircraft. Okay, engine 2 is coming up nicely. Okay, there's not much space to turn here, so we're just going to push straight back, I think, and then we'll turn ourselves to get out. Okay, let's start off engine 1. I suppose we could do a little bit of a turn, tail left.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
It's a little bit more space than I initially thought. Freaks me out when everything switches on. Okay, I think we can stop there. Set the parking brake. Okay, engines are fired up. Let's turn on the piezo heats. And we can shut down the APU. Okay, packs are on, that's all good. We can then go auto on the strobes, taxi light on, and I think that's all we need for now. Okay, we need to call for taxi clearance though. Ground cargo 103 heavy, ready for taxi. Set the flaps while we wait, it's 15:15.
Cargo 103 heavy, runway 06 taxi, via November, Alpha, Charlie.
Taxi runway 06 via November, Alpha, Charlie. Cargo 103 heavy. Right, so let's go and get our charts. Pretty simple taxi instructions. So November is the one that we go onto to exit here. November Alpha and then Charlie full length. Nice and easy. Okay, let's give it a bit of power. Get out of here. Set our auto brake to max for takeoff. Flex temperature is set. Flaps 15:15 set. So once we get to the runway, it's just strobe and landing lights, transponder, and weather radar. We probably don't even need the radar today, to be fair. The other thing to be aware of is 6,000 feet will come relatively quick, so I'm hoping we need to switch over to the radar controller around like 2,000 feet so that they can find us and give us a further clearance so we don't level off at 6,000. It's not as quick in this aircraft as it is in like the 737 or the A320, but it is still, we don't want to wait around with contacting radar. Okay, so this is November, and then we go past this one. First turn to our right is Bravo. We're going on to Alpha. All the way down as far as we can go on Alpha, left on Charlie, hold short 06. Easy. Still pretty cool that we are operating the A300, which is 100% owned by our Neofly airline, which is pretty cool. And what I thought would be nice is we actually keep using the same livery. This is obviously just the plain white livery, but that will keep track of the stats of this aircraft, so we could actually get, well, we will actually get wear and tear, and the more we operate our A300, the more chance we have of some sort of failure happening, because I do have the failures turned on. Also, just with Beyond ATC, I must say, it's obviously still really early in the development, but so far I'm pretty impressed. In the previous episode we used it quite a bit because it was cloudy up in the Leeuwveld where we were flying. So we did a flight with the Kodiak and another flight with the PC-12 using Beyond ATC into small little airports. And the final turn to line up with the runway in the PC-12 when we landed in Ulundi was a little bit sketchy. We had to we kind of overshot a lot by following the vectors. But hey, as far as having ATC that works all over the world for the flight sim, I'm pretty impressed so far. It could be a lot worse. So far, that's the only thing I have to complain about. I understand some of the airports it'll just say taxi via pilot's discretion because it doesn't have information, but that can come later as developers add the required taxiway and runway information.
Cargo 103 heavy, contact Kingshocker
Look at that, it knows where we are.
8.45.
Tower on 118.45, cargo 103 heavy, good day. Okay, I do have it set to auto-tune the radios. We'll imagine that we have a first officer doing that for us. Tower, good day, cargo 103 heavy. Ready for departure, runway 06.
Cargo 103 heavy, request not understood.
Okay, interesting. I think we're not close enough to the runway. If I look here in the software, it's not giving us the option to request departure. Tower cargo 103 heavy, request departure.
Cargo 103 heavy, I didn't get that.
Oh, it looks like our auto-tune didn't actually switch to the tower. Oh, there is no tower. Oh no, there is. I'm blind. It still says we're on ground. Tower is 118.45. Right now we're on tower, so I'm not sure what happened with the auto tune. As I mentioned, the auto radio tune, it didn't work. Tower, good day, cargo 103 heavy, request departure, runway 06.
Cargo 103 heavy, Kingshocker Tower, wind 045 at 4, runway 06, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 06, cargo 103 heavy. Okay, lights are done. Let's turn this on. And this guy as well, and then get back here to make this turn. Okay, a little bit of wind. He said 4 knots. I think it was 45 degrees. So a little bit slight crosswind, but not too much to deal with. Right, I think we're good to go. Lights, flaps, weather radar, and transponder. And we'll go togo for our flex takeoff. Nice and heavy today.
Pilot, have a nice flight.
And positive rate, gear up. There's 300 feet, autopilot 1 on. And he should hand us over shortly to radar. As you can see, we're climbing fast.
Cargo 103 heavy. Contact Durban departure 125.75.
Departure on 125.75, cargo 103 heavy. The auto tune is not working. Damn, this is going to waste a lot of time. 125.75. Radar, good day, cargo 103 heavy, passing 3,500 feet, Greytown 1 Alpha, climbing 6,000 feet. Flaps up.
Cargo 103 heavy. Durban departure. A good day. Identified. Climb to flight level 150.
Flight level 150, cargo 103 heavy. Right, so we got that in time. We can turn these off. That's fine, that's fine, that's cool. Right, and we are making our way out. I thought he might get confused because I said climbing through 3,500. Then I said the SID, and then I said climbing to 6,000. But no, all was good. Just passing through 5,000 feet now, and he gave us a flight level so we can go standard. Awesome, we are climb thrust and profile climb now. That's on climb. Gear is up. And I can never remember, is this the aircraft where I need to put this down to that notch? Or does that just put the gear down? I know the 737 you have to do it, but there's another aircraft. I think it's this one. Yes, it is. Okay. Right, let's get rid of this message. Right, we're climbing pretty quickly. We're almost 4,000 feet a minute. That's quite intense. We're through 8,000 feet already, leaving Durban behind. Yeah, there's 9,000 feet. So shortly they should give us a further climb, possibly straight up to 30,000. Okay, coming up to 10,000, we'll turn off the landing lights. And then we should start to accelerate as well. There we go, 314, and we're starting to nose over. Okay, landing lights done. Just gonna leave the seatbelt sign on. We don't have passengers anyway, so it doesn't matter. we are powering our way out of Durban in our very own A300. Super cool. So just thinking about it, this costs 76 million. We're earning just over $1 million, about 1.2 million on this flight, which means technically we'd have to do what's that? Probably just over 32, 33 flights. That maths is anywhere near right, to pay back our aircraft. But if we fly it on longer routes, which we definitely will be sending this up to Kilimanjaro at some point, those will bring in a bit more money. So I'm gonna need to work this aircraft pretty hard to pay back that 76 million.
103 heavy, contact Johannesburg East radar 119.9.
119.9 for cargo 103 heavy. Good day. What I found is it doesn't like it if you say 9er instead of 9, even though that's what he says. It's struggling to do the radios in this aircraft for some reason. It keeps just putting us back to the ground frequency. Okay, so 119.9. We'll put it in ourselves. Radar, good day. Cargo 103 heavy, climbing through flight level 135 for 150.
Cargo 103 heavy, Johannesburg East radar, identified, climb to flight level 300.
Climb to flight level 300, cargo 103 heavy. Right, we have our further climb all the way up, just in time. Why did all of that just freak out? Because this went off. We so climb, thrust, nav, good, climb. Cool, so we're fine. So I think the auto-tune frequency thing is this aircraft specific. So it seems like what it's doing is... Okay, no, I thought it was just switching to this frequency each time, but it's the wrong frequency. It just keeps going to the ground. I haven't had that on any of the other aircraft, so just to keep an eye on. So we're going through 16,000 feet. Pretty much left Durban behind us already. Lovely clear skies over South Africa today. We're coming up to Greytown now, where we will start a bit of a right-hand turn. And then from there, it's almost straight. We go up to Standerton, where we start a very slight left turn. From there, it's probably just about bang on straight all the way up. We go here. We can have a look. I thought it would have the route on here. So we're going up over Johannesburg. So Standerton is like out here somewhere. In fact, we probably see it if I zoom in a bit. It's here somewhere. It's in this area. Obviously not labeled. There we start our our right-hand turn. So we come up here over Standerton, and we head out this way up into Botswana. There's Pilanesberg, and then if I zoom out, this is Botswana here, and there is Maun right on the edge of the Okavango Delta, which we'll be operating our charter flights into. Right, but we've been given our climb all the way up to our cruising altitude. So I reckon we can do a bit of a time lapse. We're just passing 20,000 feet, 10,000 feet to go. do a bit of a time lapse, and I will see you guys again when it's time to prep for our descent. Alright, so we're coming up to our top of descent. We are planning, if I remember correctly, runway 08. We don't have any arrival. We don't have any arrival or approach set, so we'll see what ATC gives us. I'm expecting them to call us shortly and tell us what to expect. Otherwise, we'll let them know just before our top of descent that we are ready. So we'll see what happens. Let's just do some landing calculations. So we are planning runway 08. And oh right, we have no weather reported for Maun, I'm pretty sure. Nope, no METAR available. Great. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll do flaps 30-40 and we'll do auto brake medium, which is gonna be plenty. It's a 12,000 foot runway. So I think that will be plenty enough to get us down and stop safely. Let me rather look at the charts here than on my phone, so we can switch over to airport. Right, so we're landing runway 08. We'll probably then vacate even at Delta, We're going to apron 1. So fairly simple. Alpha in. We do have some arrivals, but none that line up with our flight plan, so I'm expecting them to just give us radar vectors for a visual approach, because we've got VOR approach and we've got RMP approaches. So we'll see what they assign to us. A VOR approach would be interesting. So something like VOR Yankee for 08. We're actually coming in from this side. So we would do 278 and then in onto the approach. I don't think they're going to give us a VOR. I think they're going to give us just vectors for a visual approach is what I'm expecting. But we're about 40 miles up from our top of descent. So I'm going to give them a call shortly to let them know that we are ready. Descender cargo 103 heavy, we are ready for descent.
Cargo 103 heavy, flag present heading. Descend to flight level 140, Mon Airport landing runway 08.
Flight present heading, descend flight level 140 and landing runway 08, cargo 103 heavy. Okay, so down to 140. Need to double check what happened with my heading there. Oh, that's not the heading bug. We're on 063. Whoops. So if I do that, it should sync it. And then we're going to heading select. Okay, because he said present heading, so we're just going to stick on this heading then and expect vectors. He didn't say vectors though. QNH 1023. So I'll dial that in here so we can remember. Like so. And we can start our descent. So what's interesting is I'm still not sure what kind of approach we're getting, because normally the control at this point before we start our descent says expect radar vectors for the ILS or expect vectors for visual. He just said landing runway 08, so I think we're going to plan for a visual approach. Means we don't really use any of this. Let's maybe plan for DME 08. Let's stick that in. I don't even know if that's activated. No, it is. Okay, cool. Okay, we're doing 30-40. We'll do +5 for wind. 141 is our approach. And we are descending at about 1,000 feet a minute. Water brake medium set. So now it's just a case of following ATC's instructions. Okay, so we'll have this here in case we do actually need to do this. So I think what we would do is fly to that VOR and then do the outbound 10 DME, turn to intercept 75 degrees. That VOR frequency is 112.7. actually do that for some reason. Probably because I have to do it here. If we go... That's comm radios. Huh. I don't know why I can't dial in a VOR frequency. Interesting. Because it's not here. This is all. This COM 1 and COM 2. There's no others here. These don't even do anything. Very strange. I do this. Ah, there we go. 1127. So I think we'll do that to 278. Then we'll dial this to 75 to line that up. And that's 278, cool. What does this actually change? It doesn't seem to change anything at the bottom here. That just points towards it. There's no course on there. And this is obviously ADF, so we'll just have to be in arc mode. Or we could do rows. Either of those will work. Does that mean we're too high or too low? So we're only descending at 1,000 feet. Because to me that means we're underneath the descent path, which is fine, because we can catch up to it. If that means we're too high, then we have a big problem. I think we're underneath it, which is fine. So we've still got 79 miles to go. Okay, if we have to do this, we're coming from this side, so we'll intercept that radial, then 10 DME, we turn left to intercept 075, which we'll dial in. Okay, missed approach, climb straight ahead to 4,400. And then turn right to VOR at or above 6,000. So we'll dial it into 6,000. We make that turn. So at 4,400, we start our turn to be at 6,000 at the VOR, I think. That's what it seems like. Okay, so that's our plan. 71 miles out. See, I wonder if I choose one of these. Yeah, it doesn't give us anything. Okay, so we'll do that approach manually if that's what we are given. Controller couldn't actually give us something else. How is Zulu different from Yang? Oh, wow. Okay, Zulu has 11 DME ARC. That'll be interesting to fly. Aha, okay, we were below and we're now on that descent path. Let's see. Yeah, I see none of those, we didn't get a star because none of those are on our waypoint. So, this is the VOR Zulu. Doesn't seem to add anything to our actual flight plan, which is interesting. And I think it's because I have to choose that. Ha! There we go. So, then I can insert that and we can actually get that up here. So it depends if ATC gives us one of those. Let's put that one in because DME arcs are fun. But with this in, it'll fly it on its own. So we just need some.
Cargo 103 heavy, turn left, heading 320 vectors for the approach.
Okay, so it looks like we're just gonna get Victor's forward visual. Left to 320 vectors for the approach. Cargo 103 heavy. Yeah, by now he would have told us if it was gonna be one of those approaches. Okay, so we're just going to follow his vectors. We're coming through 17,000 feet now. Transition is 9,000.
Cargo 103 Heavy, descend to flight level 100.
Flight level 100 for cargo 103 Heavy. Okay, what'll be cool to see is actually to compare.
Cargo 103 Heavy, contact Mon approach 126.0.
Approach 126.0, cargo 103 Heavy. Good day. Approach cargo 103 Heavy, descending through 15,300 for flight level 100.
Cargo 103 Heavy, verify information Lima.
Yeah, we need to go get information Lima. ATIS is 1266.
Advise on initial contact, you have information Lima. Mon Airport information Lima. 0545 Zulu. Wind 130 at 5 temperature 14. Dew point 02. QNH 1023.
023.
Landing and departing runway 08.
08.
Transition level 070. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial
Okay, now I don't think it's going to work for us to switch frequencies and then report that we have Lima, so I'm just going to leave it. Because if I say we have information Lima now, they're just going to say they don't understand. So that's fine. We have information Lima 1023 and landing and departing 08. Oh, what we should actually do is get the wind, so we can use that for our descent calculation.
On airport information Lima. 0545 Zulu. Wind 130 at 5 temperature 14. Dew point 02. QNH 1023. Landing and departing runway 08. Transition level 070. Read back all hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact, you have information Lima. Mon Airport information Lima. 0545 Zulu. Wind 13.
Right, so we have our wind. I'm going to switch over to auto brake low, so we can wear out the brakes a little less, because this is our aircraft now. Okay, just coming through 13,000. So let's see if I'm right. If I say that we have information lever now, we're back on the approach controller's frequency. Approach cargo 103 heavy, we have information Lima.
Aircraft calling, did not copy.
Yeah, okay, so when we change frequencies, it obviously stops waiting for that response. Wonder where Beyond ATC is getting its ATIS then, because that doesn't appear in Navigraph. Yeah, we do need to slow down. That's 11,000. We need to be below 250 by 10,000 feet. And we should get a further descent here shortly because we're coming up to 10,000. Okay, coming up to 250 knots. Let's do our landing lights so long. We should start turning.
Cargo 103 heavy, turn left, heading 265, descend to flight level 080.
Turn left heading 265, descend to flight level 080, cargo 103 heavy. Okay, I wasn't expecting a left turn, I'll be honest. Of curiosity, let's start this to 075, and that will allow me to see. We do this. Yeah, so we actually need to make a right-hand turn at some point here.
Cargo 103 heavy, turn right, heading 305, descend to 7,000 feet, QNH 1023.
Turn right heading 305, descend to 7,000 feet, QNH 1023, cargo 103 heavy.
Cargo 103 heavy, 9 miles from MN400, turn right, heading 045, maintain 5,100 feet until established on the final approach course. Cleared INAV runway 08.
Turn right heading 045, descend and maintain 5,100 feet until established. Cleared RNAV 08, cargo 103 heavy. Okay, now he's just said RNAV for 08, which is interesting because we didn't have that before. 5,100. Right, we need to start slowing down. So now, I guess I have to go in here and choose an RNAV. RNAV 08. Run none, insert that. And he mentioned this MN400, so let's go direct to that, I guess. Where does that take us? Okay, that looks like it'll work. Let's start getting some flaps. That's not gonna work. Is that 220? Oh, I read that as 2... Oh, right. 215 is the next one. I read that wrong. Whoops. Okay. So we'll come down to 200. Right. Now we've got some things to change. Let's go here. RNAV for 08. See, it's weird that kind of took us past. We did this instead of just coming straight into this and on. Anyway, coming up to MN 400, 5,100 feet. After that, at 401, we start our 3-degree glide slope. So that's cool. I wonder if this can do... that's just vertical speed. We don't have a degrees. But we can do that here somehow. I don't know how we engage that though. Okay, let's get the flaps down. We can start slowing down even more to get the gear out. Okay, I can see the runway. Okay, 175 is our maximum flap speed. There's 170. This actually
Cargo
does.
103 Heavy. Contact Mont Tower 118.7. Have a good day.
118.7. Good day, Cargo 103 Heavy. Tower, Cargo 103 Heavy, established runway 08.
Cargo 103 Heavy, Mont Tower, wind 130 at 5, runway 08, clear to land.
Okay, I realized this just gives us that little indicator which we can follow down. So our approach speed, 140.
Cargo 103 Heavy, Mont Tower, wind 130 at 5, runway 08, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 08, Cargo 103 Heavy. Okay, gear, flaps, lights, we are all good. Right, we're about to pass that MN 401. So, let's disconnect the autopilot. And follow that vector. Jeez, why is that thing just disappearing so low? Yeah, I'm not talking because I'm concentrating. I feel like we're coming in quite low, even though that vector wants me nose down even more. We're far too low. It's 200 feet. Yeah, no, okay, I'm not following that vector. Clearly I did something wrong. With how I set it up. 300 feet. We've got all reds because we're very low. Speed's good.
200.
Just arm the speed brakes, which I just realized I forgot.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 9.
That wasn't the softest landing I've seen. Transporter from dispatch. Clear the runway and taxi to parking.
Okay, not the most incredible approach and landing for our first outing in the A300, but it could have been a lot worse.
Cargo 103 Heavy, exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway, cargo 103 Heavy. Okay, now this is the issue with Beyond ATs. So they assign us a parking bay. The numbers don't match the charts at all generally.
Cargo 103 Heavy, contact ground 121.905.
121.95, cargo 103 Heavy.
Position level 070. Read back or hold short instructions. Advise on initial.
Cargo 13, sorry, disregard.
Aircraft calling.
I screwed that up. Cargo 103 Heavy, request taxi to cargo ramp.
Cargo 103 Heavy. Welcome to Mon Airport. No suitable gates for your aircraft exist at this airport
Great.
according to your scenery data. Taxi at pilot discretion.
Taxi, pilot's discretion, cargo 103 Heavy. Okay, so that actually makes our life easier because we can just go wherever we want. Okay, Bert, welcome to Mao. Okay, spoilers and flaps are done. I do need to sort out the lights still. And the transponder and the weather radar. So, lights. Landing lights off. Strobe lights off. Let's start up the APU. We can come down here. Turn this back to standby. Flip this over. Cool. Brakes are nice and hot, so we've got the brake pan on. So we're going to go right to the end of apron 1 and see what available space we have there for us to park. Okay, our air conditioning switching over like that means the APU is up and running. We could park this side, here where this blast fence is. That would work. This is apron 2 though. Apron 1 looks pretty small parkings. What's that down at the end there? Not on the map. I think we're basically just going to use this taxiway as our parking spot. Which means we're blocking this, but it's not the end of the world. There's plenty of space here. So we'll do something like that. Okay, brakes are set. Let's shut down the engines.
Transport from dispatch. Okay, nice job.
There's our cargo.
Someone's coming to take
Going
the
to be
cargo.
offloaded by
I'll
that
call you
little
when it's
dude.
done.
Amazing. Okay, we can switch off this. And I think we can switch off this. That'll turn the packs off. Fuel pumps. Probes. Window heats. Packs are now off. Seatbelt signs, no smoking signs. Disarm emergency lights. That's done, that's done, that's done. We're still running APU power, so we'll keep that on. Those can come off. And then I guess we just open things up. So make sure we disarm, because if you open the doors, we'll get slides. You can open up the main cargo and the door. Chocks, stairs. And I think that's fine for now. Right, but there we have it. Arrived in our very first flight in our own A300 freighter. And we've made it, it's about a 2.5 hour flight from Durban King Shaka up to Maun. And what we're going to be doing next is starting up some cargo and passenger runs with probably the Kodiaks, PC-12s, some helicopters. But in the next episode, we will be starting off with some Kodiak runs into the bush airstrips around the Okavango Delta. So that's going to bring us to the end of episode 20 of the Neofly series, where we now have all of our equipment up in Maun. That'll take some time to set up, and then in episode 21 we'll be doing some of that bush flying, starting off with the Kodiak, and we'll see what else we can build from there, launching some operations from our base here at Maun Airport. But as always, if you made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, you know what to do down below, and I'll see you in the next one.